Volskaya Foundry, everybody! Granit Gaming versus Wind and Rain. The playoffs are here, baby. Oh yeah, it is going to be a fantastic day and a great start. We have a bit of an adjusted double elimination system where especially the top 4 in the rankings get a bit of a pass. Can jump straight into the semifinals there. I'm gonna link the bracket also in the description of the video on YouTube if you guys are interested, but then again keep in mind that if you are looking at the bracket you're probably gonna get spoiled there. But either way, we're currently in the first round here, and this is the first game of 5 to be played in this series, and it should be good. This is also happening on the newest patch, which has that 10% movement speed increase across the board. A pretty interesting adjustment that immediately also had a pretty deep impact on a couple of the heroes. I mean, just to name one example, Antanis and his Purifier Beam got of course significantly nerfed because you can pretty easily now run away from the Purifier Beam without having any trouble whatsoever there. I actually personally expect that Blizzard is going to make some adjustments there in the future and that they simply forgot about it, as usual. But as we're heading into our first game here, we have Mephisto banned out against Wind and Rain. Macke doesn't get his hero. Tai also won't neither be able to play Vala nor Zeratul. So what you see here is definitely a lot of targeted bans against the opponent's team. Not necessarily only looking at the meta, but at the same time also trying to just shut down some of the strongest plays of the opponent, which makes perfect sense here. Henning still has the super early access to Tyrande. Gulnar, the support on the other side, also looking to play that. With Berghult, we could see a Tyrael play, we could see a Johanna there on his side, and there is the Tyrael, and we get Chen with it too. It was the crazy Russian, Stork in particular, that brought Chen into the meta after the changes. Most of the Chen players, or most of the players in the side lane that just dabbled in Chen a little bit before, said like, it's still pretty meh, we don't really like him too much, he has the same weaknesses as before. The Russians looked at the Panda and was like, he drinks vodka, we like. And yeah, Stork just went in, grabbed Chen, and well, there he went and started to wreck the backline. So it was actually pretty cool. But up to this point, they were pretty much the only ones that played the Panda. So now we're having Wind and Rain picking him up as well very early on the side lane here. There were of course also a couple of additional changes that came in the latest patch through. So we'll see how much of an impact that has. And this is the first tournament actually where we have the newest patch starting to have an impact. The ban on Leo on the side, so he doesn't get the free drain against Chen up on the top lane. We're currently having also Garrosh picked. Greymane for Tai this time. And yeah, let's see what we have on the ban side for Wind and Rain here. Sorry, for Granit Gaming. They're getting rid of Anna, alright. But with Berghult and Tyrael, there's already a nice support there, of course, with the shields on the side of Wind and Rain. And Berghult's Tyrael is nothing to sneeze on at all. I mean, he's extremely solid on the hero. Oftentimes gets target banned too. Usually when he doesn't get access to Tyrael, when he doesn't fit the composition, it's most of the Johanna that we are seeing from him. But yeah, let's see. At this point, we're having also the next 2 bans coming in from Wind and Rain, and that's Anduin for Gulnar. He was one of the first ones in Division S that actually started to play with Anduin there. Imperius is now brought into the battle as well, Skog playing him, so very heavy melee setup that we're seeing from Wind and Rain here. Imperius also has seen a few changes in the recent patch and seems to look really strong now. There were a couple of interesting adjustments. Urel now with the so to say self-cleanse that she has can't not only use it towards allies but also for herself now. And while talking about Urel, there she is. And it's Hammer time! Hammer is brought into the game and an immediate Gul'dan pick from Macke against the Sergeant here. So we've seen Mena in the past picking Gul'dan against Hammer with great success. Let's see if in this case Wind and Rain can capitalize on the pick as well. Game number 1, everybody. The best of 5 is starting up right now as we are heading into Volskaya Foundry, the first map of the series. Game number 1, Granit Gaming against Wind and Rain, and on the left side, Tai on Greymane, Henning on Tyrande, we have Lauber on Garrosh and Svamkarota on the Sergeant. Fury playing Urel here today, and on the right side of the map for Wind and Rain, we have Gulnar on Anduin, Berghult on Tyrael, Macke on Gul'dan, Max Payne, aka Max Passion on Chen, and Skog on Imperius here. Alright, boys and girls, time to shine. The Hammer on level 1 with Ambush taken as the first talent here, so that's the first one that we're seeing in action. Outside of that, for the Panda, we're having the fresh ingredients actually taken right now. I've seen a couple of different builds there in the past. The Russians had their own flavor for sure, definitely. But yeah, let's see exactly how this is going to work out in this particular case right now. I'm actually pretty excited for this one. Honestly, the entire playoffs are going to be fantastic, and I think we're going to see a lot of cool plays there. There's a few subs that are also in the game, by the way. So, for example, for Washed Up later on, we're going to see Nick from the former Team Method in HGC, and we also have Lurok subbing in, since Smexy and I believe JPL are the two that can't make it for the playoffs. And we have a couple of additional adjustments for other teams too. Team Russia, for example, is playing with Kuni-chan again. And that's something that all of you that are diligently watching the YouTube videos or the live streams on Twitch probably have seen already in the Heroes Hype tournament, where the Russians did extremely well with that lineup. So it's definitely something where we can have a look of how well that's going to work out for them in the whole. But yeah, right now, things are definitely going to be quite interesting here. Max Payne again, aka Max Passion on Chen. And 1 minute in, both teams looking straight at the turret. And Chen, as I said, has also seen a few changes in that latest patch. So fresh ingredients in particular, the level 1 talent they just picked, has also now additional cooldown reduction. So it's one of the talents that got affected by the recent patch, and therefore the build slightly changed already. And we're probably going to see more adjustments later. At this point though, big fight already happening over the healing beacon, and a nice position here from Swamp Grotta too. Fury is able to grab the healing beacon. Nicely done by him here. And that obviously gives them now the added advantage, especially since they're now in a position where they have the added item. So pretty sweet for them. As I said before, Urel is now in that interesting situation where the Hand of Freedom on level 4 can now be used on Urel herself, and there's also a cooldown reduction that came with it. So personally, I'm actually really interested to see how much of an impact that's gonna have, because it will definitely make Urel even a little bit harder to kill here, and should come into play in a couple of the builds that we're going to see here today. But there's going to be a lot of additional changes. We're going to go over a couple of those. The biggest one is, of course, well, there we have it, the Hand of Freedom. Again, fantastic talent to be taken right now. Slows and roots immediately getting cleansed out. So it doesn't really work against stuns, don't get me wrong, but still, the added functionality is absolutely fantastic here. What I wanted to talk about, though, is the movement speed. And that's honestly a pretty crazy change. 10% movement speed increase across the board for the heroes is absolute insanity. And I feel like the only thing that surprised me more than how insane that change is that some people, especially on the social media platforms, Reddit for example, came and said like, I didn't even notice the movement speed. I had to go to Reddit to find out about it. Feels the same to me. And I was just like looking at those comments. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like a race car game right now. Have you guys seen a Zarya game with a speed barrier on level 4 on any hero? They're just zipping over the entire thing. Is it Superman? Is it an airplane? No, it's the new movement speed increase. So yeah, huge change, definitely on the macro level, and impacts the gameplay also quite a bit. Obviously, the higher you go in skill level, the more noticeable it becomes. If you're playing in Plastic League, then chances are that you're really not realizing what's going on there. But either way, with this said, we have level 7 now on both sides, and we're heading into our first objective. We have 67% already accumulated. The Panda build has again slightly changed with the fresh ingredients, now getting the cooldown reduction since the latest patch. Deadly Strike taken on level 4 and the Brewmaster's Balance on level 7. For Gul'dan, everything is still as it was before when it comes to the Echoed Corruption. The absolute standard for him. We're starting to go straight for the hammer stacks. That was he's trying to get here. The bold strategy for Anduin, followed up by a full focus into the Divine Star here. Pretty traditional what we're seeing from him. Divine Steed also by Urel right now, and there's the damage coming through, but once again the turret's on the ground here. Nice throw by Lauba, but immediately Imperius is jumping out of the battle and able to escape here. No problems whatsoever for him in this situation, and Hammer is now starting to take full control over the point together with the rest of the team. Nicely done there. So yeah, so far good job that we're having from them. Once again, starting to try and make a bit of a play for the first kill in the game, or sorry, the second kill in the game. So we've obviously already seen one a bit earlier. But in this case, it looks like the red team is quite eager to make sure they don't lose that first protector. Fury is low, Fury is stunned, and Lauber with a big save. He throws in Tyrael, who tries to get some counter value, but can't get too much. Drops on the turret, and that is it. 99% for Granit, and they are chasing Wind and Rain away to grab protector number 1 in this game. Nicely done by them. Yeah, really, really well done by them here. Alright. Imperius, again, we talked a little bit about changes that he already experienced. Right now, still the burn, the Impure on level 1. The Sovereign Armor coming in now on level 4 on the other hand, with a Holy Favor on level 7. So, slight adjustments in the build that we're currently seeing on him. We'll have to have a look how much Imperius is going to impact the current meta. He definitely received a little bit of a buff there. And yeah, especially when you're looking at the level 4 talent. I mean, Molten Armor was previously a level 16 talent, so definitely a huge shift in the power levels that we're seeing for the hero right now. Either way though, the setup with the triple melee doesn't really do too well for Wind and Rain thus far. They have 0 kills and already suffered 2 deaths, and now they have to deal with the Protector at the top lane. That's exactly where Granit headed, to take down the Fountain and prepare for the second objective in the game. Make sure that their opponent doesn't have a fallback option on the Fountain. Still Chen at the bottom of the map trying to get the experience for them though. And especially when we're seeing the Triple Panda coming in, there's a huge potential that you are going to put the pressure onto the squishies, or Hammer in particular. Hammer in this case also with a Napalm Strike, by the way. So going straight into that. Still the pressure at the top. Slight rotation down to the bottom where Max Passion is still sitting. Should be able to get away from this, but has to barrel out, going into the barrel instead of the Triple Panda. So not going for the Stalk variation on the hero. Stalk definitely played extremely well around that, but also, again, coming back to the last patch, Wandering Keg has now gotten a bit of a buff too. Has an additional 25 armor during the duration of it, and a cooldown reduction too. So with only a 60-second cooldown, you can definitely spam it out a little bit more frequently. I'm still not 100% sure if the Russians, for example, would go into the Wandering Keg, but it's definitely now an ability that not only keeps you alive a little bit easier, but at the same time is also a bit more spammable than it was before. It might just be enough. You don't really have the kill potential, though, that you have with the Pandas. So there's a couple of changes that will impact all of this. And honestly, it's kind of cool to see a lot of this coming through in the playoffs here. The players still had a couple of days to prepare for this and scrim a bit, and some of the teams actually did. We had Granit Gaming streaming with the Russians, for example, to get a bit of a feel for the new changes in the patch here. Anduin right now also with a light bomb, so you have now not only the combo potential with Tyrael, who could jump in with a light bomb, but in addition to that, you're also looking at Chen, who obviously can start to use that to his advantage as well. There's definitely a couple of cool plays that can be made here. Yep, Anduin himself also slightly changed. Not really too much. I mean, again, the heal got a little bit increased from his blinding heal. The heal power got slightly increased here, and that was the most important change. Nothing too insane, but it was already a hero that Gulnagar played in the past, so he was definitely quite happy about that. I'll tell you that much. In the meantime now, with 2 kills against 0 and a level 13 talent advantage, we're still seeing Granit Gaming in a good position here. Max Payne needs to get a few additional hit points, gets healed out by Gulnagar here. And if Hidden Point can jump in and get the barrel, that would be really, really solid for them. So we'll see how that's going to work out for them. Right now, we're still having those rotations. You can actually tell that this game is definitely sped up a little bit. I mean, 9 minutes in, we have currently still the 1 level lead. In comes the attack with the stun. Lauber has the extra healing beacon, is huge. So they have the extra item here over the opponent. But those camps, are they going to come up in a bit? 30 seconds over here on the right side, another 20 seconds over here. So this is definitely the moment when you can decide, for example, in the case of Wind and Rain, to rotate down to the bot side, try to get the additional items, let your opponent grab an advantage on the checkpoint itself, and then use the items to try and go for the fight. Here comes the Keg, they're trying to go for Fury. But they're not really getting the angle that they were hoping for, so that's slightly unfortunate for them. You still have the extra talent, or well, sorry, not the extra talent, but they have the same talent. You can try and use that. But here's the attack for the beacon. Svamgrota is sitting at the side here. Went into the entrenched at this point. And that is actually quite helpful against all the dive potential that we're seeing now from Wind and Rain. So that's definitely an option that they could pull here during these fights. And Svankota is going to try and create that space whenever, let's say, Tyrael plus Chen are trying to jump in on him. That's what's going to happen here. For now, down at the bottom, that's exactly what I've been talking about. Items are being taken, but in this case, it's actually Granit Gaming who grabs them. And look at that little play. I like that a lot. They actually have Greymane now on the structure, and we all know that Greymane is a beast when it comes to structures. He takes that down easy peasy, and with that little move, they already prepare objective number 3. So even if they lose the Protector at the top side right now, and with all the items that they hold, that is unlikely, but even if they lose that fight, and even if they lose the Protector, it means that objective number 3 is already spawning with an advantageous situation for them. So really nice rotation that we just saw from Granit Gaming. A perfect setup for the third Protector, and now they still have all the time in the world to go up here to the top. They have the extra items, 3 turrets and the healing beacon as they're heading into that fight. Gul'dan hasn't completed his quest yet. Here comes the attack. They're throwing Max Payne out again as the attempt to go for the point. Overtime already reached, and the barrel is being used against the hammer. Coming in as we speak. Here's the healing beacon on the ground as they're trying to go for the quick kill. Fury is already a little bit low in hit points, and Henning is getting zoned out in the backline. Oh, Fury jumps out. The goat barely escaping. Imperius, on the other hand, gets wrecked, and Garrosh comes in and immediately takes him down with the axe. Down goes Chen. Panda abuse in the game as we see the triple kill coming through. Tyrael jumping out once more. Anduin doing whatever he can to save his teammates, but there's very little that he can pull off here. And now with that, it is a bit of a disaster for Wind and Rain. They haven't gotten a single kill in this game yet. And here comes Granit Gaming pushing through that top lane, annihilating the fort and prepping also for the Protector itself right now. Fantastic setup here in the last fight for Granit Gaming, especially Lauba being able to survive through all of this. Same true for Urel. They're already breaking through the wall as the Protector is just now starting to march in. It's going to be a 5 versus 5 for the top lane, but there's a 2 to 3 level lead right now for the team in blue, and they have the extra level 16 talent as well. That keep should be a foregone conclusion. Urel in the middle also zoning them out, trying to proxy a few of the waves to ensure that another fort is falling, and that's happening any second right now. The goat starting to jump in to help out over here. Nice siege tactics being used against the barrel, but at least Gul'dan completed his quest, has the Echo Corruption right now. Gul'dan in trouble though. Maka needs to be careful here. It gets immediately attacked, but is able to retreat, at least for the time being. Once again though, 5 kills against 0. Here comes Urel trying to zone them out. Protector back to business. They still have a couple of ults left, especially the taunt here. And here it comes, throwing straight for the Panda. Chen trying to get away here. Max Passion barely moving out, and Svankota sieging up again with the Napalm strikes coming through. But we have Gul'dan firing away with the Echo Corruption right now. The pressure is on though. Svankota at the top lane, half level away for Wind and Rain to try and get the level 16 to at least fight on eye level. They're trying to get the kill though. Fury with the ult in the last moment possible. Survives. They're pressuring them still. Tai in the backline against Maka. Tai, he wants the kill. He gets isolated though, and he gets dropped, but the keep is down. They can save Gul'dan. They kill Greymane, but the keep has fallen. Here's the 16 talents now finally, and for Chen, that gives him the flying leap. Fat Illidan with an opportunity to maybe chase them down. He's trying to do exactly that. Max Payne already barreling in. They kill Garrosh, and the Panda is still trying to go for the slows here. Still trying to make a couple of plays at this point in time, but not able to lock anybody else down. The GOAT is jumping out, and with 5 kills against 2 and a 2-level advantage, we have a fantastic, a stellar position for the team in blue in this game. Granit Gaming has taken down all 3 forts, and they have eliminated the first keep of the game at the top lane. Everything is just looking just splendid for them right now, especially when we're talking about objective number 3 at the bottom of the map. That should be a huge lead for them when they're heading into it, especially since they might even have level 20 around the time. So it's going to be absolutely insane for Wind and Rain to come back into this. Incredibly difficult. When it comes to the damage output, 67,000 for the Sergeant. So we're having Hammer just doing total work here. Greymane, 42,000 as well. So Tai definitely bringing the pain too. 36,000 on the other hand from Gul'dan. Yeah, and so far that entire setup that they're running here is not quite working out the way that they expected it, I would assume. Getting into a triple melee setup. They had also Gul'dan against Sergeant Hammer, but the setup for Granit is just a little bit too strong right now. Here comes again the attempt to play around the barrel, but it doesn't work out for them. Backhold gets taunted, so does the Panda. They're trying to go for the fight here. 19.5, Horrify, and the kill as Fat Illidan jumps in feet first. And the Panda hits the Kek, and Tyrande goes down, and she's not the only one. Gul'dan and Panda go straight for Hammer. Both of them eliminated, and they're trying to go for a little bit more. The Panda jumping out again. Is it a triple? Oh my god. Oh, Lauba goes down. Nicely done. And all of a sudden, we are having some momentum for Wind and Rain. Oh boy. 5 kills against 5 right now. The Panda already sitting straight in the middle again. And they're breaking through the bot lane, eliminating the fort here. Nice setup. Yeah, Wind and Rain is all of a sudden getting a lot of momentum here. They eliminate the advantage at the bottom of the map that Granit Gaming had before. And they're also nearly drawing even experience. Now, they're not quite there, but they get an easy lead now also on the point. And up at the top lane, Fury had started to get a lot of trouble with the Panda. So all of a sudden, Wind and Rain is back to business. Level 20 talents are now ready for Granit Gaming. But let's face it, they will be ready for the fight for Wind and Rain as well. After having massive leads in this game, Granit Gaming has now all of a sudden to be afraid that Wind and Rain draws even with them and maybe even gets the lead. With a fort eliminated at the bot lane, they could focus on that keep quite easily. Skorg plays it really safe here. Everybody is back for Granit Gaming, and Skorg is pretty much being told by his teammates, get the fuck out of there. Don't stay there, don't risk it. Honestly, it would be the dumbest thing that he could do to stay on this point a little bit longer. Probably the dumbest play you could make is trying to hide in the corner here. For no reason whatsoever, while you're waiting for level 20, and then all of a sudden you get ganked and you get killed and your opponent gets a protector for free. So they make the right play, they give up the checkpoint for now, they get an additional item at the top, they hold 2 turrets now, and in addition to that, 2 turrets. Maybe even 3, and 2 healing beacons. They can get another one. Now they have level 20. That gives them the Purifying Brew, also the Glyph of Faith, and now they can go into the fight. And this one could theoretically even decide the game already. We might see a 4th Protector, we might not. But if Wind and Rain wins this one, then Granit Gaming has definitely lost all of the advantages that they held up to this point. And here comes the attack. And the item advantage that we're seeing from Wind and Rain is insane. It's insane. They have a huge lead in items. And already dropping the first ones. Getting to stay in here. Having also the turret back in. Turret's getting taken down. Here comes again the barrel, trying to zone them out here. Going for the Panda once again. Lauba gets jumped. There comes also Light Bomb. They're trying to go for the kill against either Urel or Lauba. They can't get either, but we are still having Marke with a kill against Hammer. Nicely done. They get a second one as well as Fury's going down. Urel is all of a sudden eliminated. With those 2 kills, we see the Panda on the chase, trying to see if they can make it a triple. They're going for Lauba. Garrosh in trouble. The stun doesn't connect with Max Passion. Lauba on the run. And Lauba is gonna get wrecked here. Lauba down, Ty on the move up to the top. He's saying like, fuck that shit, I'm gonna backdoor, boys. And they are going straight for it. Triple catapult already. Greymane is there too. He's going for it. Who's TPing back? Marke is the one. Protector is coming in and the shield has fallen. And all of a sudden that core is falling too. In comes Marke. They're going for Ty. And all he wants to do is, of course, buy some time. Try and threaten the core. Maybe even take it. But he knows that he will likely die here. And he goes down. 56% on the other hand. Hashtag worth it. The problem is that on the other side of the map, we are still seeing the Protector going ham. And the keep is down. Only Tyrande is there for the defense. Gets the stun through. And those shields are going to be falling quickly. Catapults for the defense already. They need Urel. They need Hammer. Both of them about to respawn. Backhold low. Backhold low. Does he still have... He doesn't have the Sanctification. He can explode on that thing though. 40%. 30%. And it looks great for Wind and Rain. Yes, there's the explosion. Tyrael drops it with the Protector. And that is game as Wind and Rain turns it around with a 6.5 out of 10 moment here at Division S. The lead for Wind and Rain. Didn't believe they would be able to pull it off. But yep, they definitely had that little comeback moment there. They channeled their inner Russian, so to say, and now Wind and Rain has the advantage heading into game number 2, Infernal Shrines, in this series. Pretty impressive, honestly. I mean, they really fell behind early on in the game. All of their forts were eliminated, the keep was taken down at the top lane, and then they started to get a couple of kills, and all of a sudden they turned it around. Great performance there by Wind and Rain, and now Granit Gaming is under slight pressure. Zeratul gets banned out again. Wouldn't be shocked to see also Vala banned again. It's a little bit of an interesting one because Tai already played Vala quite a lot in the previous patch, in the patch before, and they had a lot of good, results with that. But we've obviously also seen a couple of additional adjustments to the hero, so that definitely helps and makes it even more scary when Granit Gaming plays it. And it's a hero that they played on Infernal Shrines and on Battlefield of Eternity mostly. Those were the two maps where we had most of the Vala plays, and there's the ban again. So Tai gets once more focused in the draft from Wind and Rain, and for good reason. But we have a slight adjustment at least from Granit Gaming as they're banning out Tyrael, so they don't want to give Wind and Rain the Tyrael play again. Backhold, as I said before, plays a lot with Tyrael on Infernal Shrines. You can argue that you get even more value, well, maybe roughly the same as on Volskaya. But there's still Johanna, as I said before, which has been played in the past a lot by Backhold. Hanzo, on the other hand, now as a first pick for Svamgrota. And let's see. So, with that, what are we going to see for the first rotation here? What are they going to get right now? Honestly, this one interests me probably the most because I want to see what kind of adjustment they make with this. They go for Imperius again. As I said, the recent patch was very good to tier Imperius, so they're going for him again in a very early pick. There comes Chen though. Yeah, the Panda has been played a little bit in the last patch, but the recent buffs that he received in the newest one that dropped just 2 days ago has now put him definitely a lot higher in the priority. I still have to admit that the White War Master skin is obviously the best, so they're falling short of that a little bit. This one isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but there's still a priority that we have to talk about. Rhaegar gets also picked together with that, as we have Tyrande on the other side. But yeah, Vala, I really think we're going to see her played at least a little bit. I mean, the hit point buff that she received in the last patch per se helps her a lot. I mean, of course, there's a couple of talent changes, not really too many, but the hit point buff, her low hit point pool and her problems with survivability was probably her biggest weakness for a long time now. So her having at least a few more hit points help her really to just mitigate that to some extent, so that definitely helps. With that now taken, I'm interested if we're seeing adjustments on Rhaegar. I mean, he has received not really too many changes. We've seen mainly level 4 talents being adjusted. And that's something that I really want to see if that impacts the build in any way, especially around the tidal waves, if that is going to be a choice right now for them on that level. So ETC and Diablo get also banned out. Dibbles obviously has insane value thanks to the wall stuns that he can get here. And they don't want to give that over. But there's still a couple of other heroes that you can easily pick here. I mean, even a Nubarak, if you just want to go for an engage with an Imperius stun to follow it up, with a Tyrande stun to follow it up too, you can do a lot there. So we'll see how exactly that's going to work out. There's the Johanna pick. Again, I said it before. If he doesn't get his Tyrael, then Johanna is oftentimes a close second. We've seen him on Garrosh as well. He has a bigger hero pool than that, but those are the 2-3 heroes that he definitely prioritizes when he can pick whatever. Leoric gets taken now as well. This time he can't rely on Chen, so no Panda action on the side of Max Passion. Instead we're seeing him with Leo. And keep in mind, the last time that they picked Chen, they actually banned Leo. Leo gets a lot of easy drains against the Panda. There comes Mal'Ganis with a sleep setup. Alright, that's already pretty cool. Triple melee, by the way, again for Wind and Rain. So the same combo that they had in the last game, at least from a team composition perspective. So Mal'Ganis is in, and Tai on Orphea. Alright. What's the main damage dealer? Make is, of course, the one that has to deliver most of the damage again. Still expecting a mage there. And no, Cassia. Cassia comes in. Alright, let's see what he can pull off with that. They have a lot of melee, as I said, so they have a lot of protection for her too. Game number 2 in the best of 5. We are in the playoffs, everybody. Granit Gaming, they are one of the big favorites to end up at least in the grand final, but right now they find themselves behind by 1 map. Let's head into Infernal Shrines and see if they can tie the series. Game number 2, and Granit Gaming is trailing behind, heading on Rega this time. We have Svamkrota on Hanzo, Lauba on Mal'Ganis, Fury on Chen, and Tai on Orphea as we're heading into Infernal Shrines. And over to the right side of the map, Make on Cassia, Gulnagulna on Tyrande. We have Backhood on Johanna, Max Payne, aka Max Passion, is playing Leoric. And we're having Skog on Imperius. So once again, the triple melee that they currently have here, especially Imperius, is going to be able to get a lot of damage through. The same is actually also going to be true for Leo, I'd say, because he's going to get a lot of drains against the Panda. And we have actually slightly adjusted talents right now. The Eye of the Tiger was the primary talent before the latest patch, after Chen got his initial rework. And that's exactly the build that especially the Russians played with as well. Wind and Rain adjusted that build slightly with the fresh ingredients being focused, since it got changed and buffed in the last patch now as well. But at least Granit Gaming with that Chen play goes back to that Russian build that we've seen previously. So this is going to be a pretty sweet setup right now. In terms of Cassia's build, I mean, she is the main damage here. We have charged strikes. And yeah, Wind and Rain really likes to play their triple melee compositions here. And it is a powerful one. You have also a lot of protection for your main damage dealer. And especially with all the CC that can be provided through those heroes, you will be able to get a lot of control through any of these shrine fights. And let's not forget about the wave clear of the AoE, the position that you can really hold then on the shrine and on the objective later on in the game. Noteworthy is also that we have some additional heals with the Laws of Hope for Johanna herself, so no hold your ground taken by her in this case. We're still gonna have a look at the level 4 talent that we're gonna see from Rega's perspective, if he's going to take advantage over the newly changed talents on level 4. It goes into the tidal waves here, or if it's still going to be just a totem for him. But either way, outside of that, we're having again the Burn and the Impure taken here on Imperius side. And, well, we're going to take an early look already at the damage. Not that it's too much of a thing, but yeah, as expected, the main damage for the red team is currently Leo. And that's because he gets those free drains against the Panda. We're still seeing quite a bit of damage from Hanzo, but that was to be expected. But yeah, Leo and Cassia at this point is actually skyrocketing in damage because of that little skirmish that we've seen down there. But as the Panda, when he rotates back down, obviously now joining the fight in the middle, so that shifts things a little bit. But the more we're going to have a 1 versus 1 setup at the top, the more the damage on Leo is going to stack up, just simply because he will get the easy drains in. And here it is, the Healing Totem. So not heading into the new talents here, or the newly changed talents for Rega, sticking with the traditional build for him. Also, again, the same build with the Accumulating Flame that was played by Stalk previously. In terms of Mal'Ganis, we have the Winged Guard on level 1, straight into the Echo of Doom on level 4 right now. The setup that he can definitely get later on with his sleep is pretty powerful, and especially for Orphea to set, for example, a good ult up, that could definitely work out for them. So we're definitely going to keep a bit of an eye on Mal'Ganis and how much of an impact he's going to have in this game. But outside of that, we're having a really powerful setup now for Wind and Rain 2. The one thing that they're lacking a little bit in comparison is that they really need to make sure that whenever they... Like, there's not really a whole lot of AoE poke that they have. Instead, they are going to try and really focus on a single isolated kill here. We don't have a mage like, I don't know, Kel'Thas, Gul'dan or anything along those lines poke from the outside. There's already a Nightcrawler starting to go in. Low on Tai on the other hand, and Cassia goes down. That's the main damage, and here comes Fat Illidan with a kill against Tyrande. And there's the triple kill as Jojo falls as well. They couldn't really hold that defense together, and especially with Cassia dying as the first victim in that fight, they pretty much didn't really have a hope of sustaining themselves with damage through the fight and taking the opponent down here. Pretty rough start. 3 kills against 0 now, and level 7 already in the hands of Granit Gaming. Then again, if you think about it, the last game didn't really start all that well for the red team either. Will of Tyrande is now taken, so even more lifesteal for him. Has a lot of interrupts and stuns that can really lock Mal'Ganis down, but yeah, now comes the pressure straight through the middle. But yeah, again, the start in this game, fantastic for Granit Gaming. There is just absolutely no talking around it. The only question still is, how is the mid and the late game gonna look? because I'm pretty sure that a few people already zoned out of game number 1 when Granit had that incredible lead, and then it was the late game where Wind and Rain started to shine here and take the kills and the advantage. So that could happen here again if Granit doesn't keep their act together. But for now, at least the start is definitely a solid one for them. But here's the attempt to come back into this. The experience lead is not too crazy yet for Granit Gaming. They haven't also taken a fort down yet, so they only could take a few of the towers with the first Punisher. There's the setup, stun into stun, and goodbye Hanzo. Leo dies too, but that's just trade value activated, as we all know. They're trying to make the play for Henning at this point, turning it around again. Nice connect with a lunge, the stuns are in, and there's the kill against Tai. And they're gonna get another one against the Panda, aren't they? Already trying to go for Fury, and this is actually looking promising. By Khaldor now might fall as well, and gets out. Oh my god. Lulba, on the other hand, dies too. The Panda with a suicide, so to say. I mean, he would have died either way, but yep, there's the kill against Mal'Ganis. And yeah, just like that, we have 4 kills against 4 kills and an experience lead for Wind and Rain. There we go. This is exactly what we talked about. This series is awesome. Honestly, it's the first series in the playoffs, and it's already great. Very, very fun. That's actually really, really well done here. So, let's see what we have. We have the Celestial Attunement on level 7. We're actually seeing Johanna waiting it out on her own level 7 for the talent picks. Okay, there we go. We're having the Blessed Momentum taken together with a Blessed Shield. Valkyrie taken. And Wrath for Imperius. Alright, turning into a delivery boy here once again. Yep. Imperius, he started to realize that he's a little bit low on cash, being an arrogant angel or another lemon or whatever that just runs around and judges people and behaves a little bit superior, doesn't pay off that much. So he needed a second job, and he started to work for Uber Eats and is now turning into a delivery boy every now and then. And we're going to keep our eye on exactly that. And there it is. You wanted panda meat? All right, there we go. Delivery for you, sir. Here's a free kill. Or is there? Well, yeah, took a little bit longer, but Fury goes down. Same town now, the kill maybe against Duranda? No, not quite. Duranda dies after all. Cassia has also fallen. That's a 2-for-1 trade. The Panda wasn't there yet, and oh boy, that is a massive, massive slaughter right now. But we see the triple Panda this time. We talked about the newly changed Keck. But yep, there's again a little bit of trade activation from Leo. And that's now 3 heroes down, 7 kills against 5. This game is all over the place right now. And obviously, the Shrine is activating in a little bit as well. So, there we go. Everybody is already zoning in towards the top. But Fury has now the chance to go for Storm, Earth and Fire whenever he gets attacked there. And I really think that especially the backline, Tirana in particular, is going to suffer from that a lot. So this is definitely something that we have to check out there. Up towards the top though, that's where Protector number 2, Punisher number 2, is going to see the light of day, and that's going to be an Arcane Punisher as well. So gotta be definitely very, very careful. It's one of the most powerful ones still, even after the nerfs. And here comes Lulba again, goes in. There's the setup attempt, there's the attack against Imperius, but he gets out still. And they're trying to turn it. Once again, the delivery, 1 Panda for your efforts. The stun is there, but the cleanse is too. And there's the triple entomb. Panda power now. 3 Pandas are better than 1. Rhaegar is dead, but so is Cassia, and they're getting more. Johanna is down, and the Pandas are just wreaking havoc here. They're not only cute and cuddly, they are also deadly as hell. Yeah, Fury is just sitting there, and the rotation is already underway, since pretty much at this point Wind and Rain just says, okay boys, let's let this one go, because we won't be able to fight back into that. 24 against 12 stacks already tells you the tale there. But with this, let's have another quick look. Damage output, the Panda at 15,000. Nothing really to write home about. Mama Panda. Also having 27 on the other hand for Tai. That's a bit of a different story, especially if compared to the damage output that we're seeing on the Wind and Rain side. 18,000 the top for Cassia. And just to put that into context, take a look at Imperius. 17,000 by him, so he definitely is able to really pack a punch here. As the Valkyrie, cleanse again, nicely done, but the stun is still there. Good Ancestral. Lauber able to survive here just a little bit longer. They're trying to make the play again, and there's the setup against Toranda. The Hanzo arrow into Ty's ult with Orphea. Delivery on Rhaegar again, but there's no follow-up. The kill still coming through, but Johanna gets also eliminated. Max Passion also taken down. Lauber is annihilating the backline and taking Cassia apart, and it's an absolute bloodbath. They turn Infernal Shrines into a graveyard, and with this we're now seeing 13 kills against 7, a level lead. But they still haven't taken a fort, and now Lulba is going to die again. Yeah, they get the kill against Mal'Ganis, and guys, that might not be the only thing, because it does not really look good for Ty either. Ty can Shadow Waltz all day long, but he's dead too, so Coffin Girl can now crawl into her own coffin, because at that point she needs one. And that's 13 kills against 9. Still a lead in experience. The Panda has pushed out the bot lane, so that helped them get a little bit closer there. But damn, boys, it is actually starting to look pretty sweet here. In comes also the cooldown reduction again, despite the fact that we don't have the level 1 talent for them. Yeah, up to the top. Max Payne still around with Leo. Gets the Entomb. Here's the damage, or at least the attempt. But Henning gets away. Now, sometimes these movements with Cassia are a little bit weird. There's a slight awkward positioning there. Instead of attacking from the bottom with the strike, she went up to the top instead. And of course, that wasted a bit of time. The damage could be put out. But let's never forget about the level 20 talents, and especially what's happening here once we have Buried Alive. That's a different story then. Everybody's on the run here. Gulnar gets away. Skog, on the other hand, might not be able to escape. Goes for the delivery again. Dodges out on a fierce ult through that. Charges away, but still falls, and they dive deep. Imperia's down, and Berkult gets destroyed here too. Berkult has been a little bit of a punching bag in this game, to be honest with you. 4 deaths on Johanna already, the same also being true for Cassia. Both of them are just getting bullied around here the entire time. And this is really solid work from the blue team, especially now that they're also getting the additional lead. Well, the camp is at least taken. Leo on the run, Leo with a train, and they're able to escape here. So far, so good. 28,000 for Imperius, top damage for his team right now. As we said before, that bad boy can pack a punch. Level 16 talents. That gives us, amongst other things, now also the piercing arrows. We're having the plague bats taken for Mal'Ganis, but also celerity again. Right, so at this point, we're having the extra armor firm, survivability, the Ring of Fire coming in too. There's a play again. Skog doesn't have the cooldown ready for his ult. Would have loved to go for a bit of a delivery here into the back of the fort to try and use that to get a kill here. But the more important part is to soak level 16 so that you can fight for the next Punisher. They didn't have one yet. Didn't get a single one up to this point. They definitely have to fight around that. Quest, by the way, on level 1 with the target practice not completed yet either for Hanzo. Wasn't able to pull that off yet. Max Payne has taken the catapults down at the top, trying to make sure that they're not losing a keep while they have to fight for the objective. Yeah, there's the attack again. Iron Skin being used. Body blocks, body blocks. Berkult might be in trouble here. Is trying to get out. Panda in action. There's the ult and the arrow and the kill. Cassia is dead. And once again, the absolute onslaught as a barrage of pandas just hails down onto Wind and Rain. And that is a triple kill once again. Yeah, it's a little bit windy, it's a little bit rainy, but it hails damage from Granit Gaming here on Infernal Shrines, and this time they got the fort, not only the one at the top, they get the one at the bottom. They're already ready to fight for the middle, and as you can tell, they are starting to prepare the bottom of the map for another aggressive move with the next objective, and this time they're gonna win all 3 of them. So it looks actually pretty insane at this point. It looks really like they're going to win this one unless there's another big team wipe against them. And you can never count that out. We had sick comebacks here, but right now things are not looking great. 16, the Valorous Pursuit taken at this point. So, again, for them it's all about survivability, right? And that's also what we're seeing with the Holy Renewal here. We now have also the Royal Focus. There's, again, the Pierce. If they can survive for long enough to soak the level 20 talent, I could definitely see Leo turning it around here. But for the time being, it's definitely a tricky situation for them to be in. And they're just playing defense the entire time. So let's see if they can defend successfully here. The keep is very likely going to be lost. Triple Panda is going to be ready in another 15 seconds. The arrow is ready already, and they're starting to make the play here. Yeah, still the Punisher starting to fight with this. They're going in and looking to see if they can maybe isolate someone and get a quick kill there. Valkyrie hasn't been used yet, but there it is. And the cleanse ready from Henning once more. The ult from Orphea. The kill attempt against Imperius. Skog nearly falling, and there's the kill. Carrion Swarm plus Orphea securing it, and now Johanna is dead too. That's 2 down. That's nearly 3 down. It might be 3 down as Cassia's in trouble. There's a couple of stuns coming through, but she bites the dust as well, and that's the end of this game. Granit Gaming is going to tie the series as they're moving for the core. Galdagolna and Max Payne, the only ones to trying and stop them here, but I don't think they have a chance in the world. As even Rhaegar with another healing totem, and the shields have obviously already fallen. Yeah, Leo is about to die too, and he's dead, and this is going to be the end. Galdagolna survives for another second, but this is going to be Granit Gaming's map. They take Infernal Shrines, they tie this series, and we are headed into game number 3 of the best of 5 now here at the Division S playoffs. GG, well played. The series is tied. Battlefield of Eternity is our 3rd map in the best of 5. And yeah, Chen has a 100% win rate so far. 100%. Once played by Wind and Rain, once by Granit Gaming, and both times successful with different builds, different styles, different ults. So, I'm not going to read too much into that yet. But let's see how the Panda is going to do in the upcoming games here. I mean, there is a lot of changes. I highlighted the 10% movement speed change, obviously, in the first game a little bit. We're going to talk about that in upcoming series as well. But generally speaking, there's a lot that happened in the last patch. So Zeratul gets banned out again. Let's be honest, it's Battlefield of Eternity. I would be shocked if they don't ban Vala here as well. They banned Vala now twice against Tai. This is one of the best maps for Vala, with the arrow build against the Immortals, so obviously Vala is banned out here. Like, this is pretty much the only map these days where you see like this much of a dominant build prioritization with the arrow build. Normally it's still the hybrid build where you go into multi-shot on most maps. And yeah, there's the Tracer ban actually. So in this case, we're not seeing Mephisto banned out against Maka, but they're banning Tracer against him. And yeah, Mephisto is for the first time open in this series. It's not really a map where you see a lot of Mephisto plays, but that's something that Maka has played so many times right now. The teams just respect Mephisto on pretty much any map against Wind and Rain. But yeah, he's not going to be picked here. Instead, it's the early pick into Li Ming again, which is exactly what they did in the past as well. So yeah, there comes again Greymane and Tyrande. Obviously Tyrande with the Hunter's Mark, fantastic against the Immortal. Greymane is one of the best heroes in Worgen form with auto attacks against Immortal damage as well. And on top of that, if you get the hero on structures, you can easily take them down too. Case in point was the destruction of the bottom keep on Volskaya Foundry earlier today in the first game of this best of 5, when Greymane was able to take the entire bot lane apart because they made a great rotation that bought them a couple of seconds there. But who's surprised? The Panda is back. We're seeing Max Payne with an early Chen pick, and Berghold is going into Garrosh this time, which means that right now he has, or he will have played, all 3 heroes that are highlighted for him at the beginning of this series. Tyrael, Johanna, and Garrosh. But yeah, the Chen is back to business. Fat Illidan making his little plays there, so let's see if this is going to be another success for him. Ana, banned out. No nano boost for Li Ming, at least not in this game. And ETC gets banned out too. Great hero for the map. Also had a few changes now in the last patch, but a great hero just to control the position of your opponent through the Immortal when you go for a defense, for example. Not only can you really just like shield any kind of damage dealer that you have with the face melt, but also through the power slide and face melt, you have nice control over where your opponent is positioned when those Immortal stuns are coming in, and a good player will take advantage of that and just set kills up. They're believing in the power of Mal'Ganis. They played him in the last game, and they're playing him again here. We have Svamgrota also on Jaina, so for that extra burst damage that can be set up. And especially Mal'Ganis' sleep into Tyrande stun plus Jaina then on top of it can do a lot here. So, yeah. What do we have on the other side now? The last 2 picks here, we need still support and we need a little bit more damage for them. And are they gonna stick to that triple melee style that they played in 2 games now? This time they actually deviate away from it. They have Malfurion in play, and with Genji we now have a double reset composition for Wind and Rain. So they're playing around the resets on Li Ming and Genji, trying to especially dive on the squishies, obviously. If they can coordinate that effort with Panda players also jumping in, that would be nice. I want to see if Max Payne switches it up now on the ult. He went into the barrel the last game that they played. Do they now play the triple Panda on the other hand? Fury with Rexa. So we see a really beastly setup at the top. Bear against Panda. Oh, a little Grizzly there. And yeah, guys. Game 3. One of the teams is going to take the lead now. Last time it was Wind and Rain. Let's see who's victorious this time. Battlefield of Eternity, our 3rd map in the best of 5 series. Game number 3, Battlefield of Eternity. Granit Gaming on the left side with Swam Grotta on Jaina, Lauba on Mal'Ganis. We have Henning on Tyrande, Tai on Greymane, and Fury on Rexa. And on the right side of the map, in this case, Galnagulna on Malfurion. We have Backhult on Garrosh. Max Passion is playing Chen. We have Make on Genji. And in addition to that, we're currently seeing Skok on Li Ming. So a little bit of a different setup for them this time, going also into the double resets. Eye of the Tiger, so not the fresh ingredients that we've seen in the first game from them on Chen. Chen immediately at the top lane against Rexa, as you would expect. So that's definitely going to be a pretty important one. Also, one of the things that we definitely have to highlight now that we are seeing Greymane for the second time in this series, his own build got, or his own talents got changed a little bit as well. So not only did Cursed Bullet receive a damage increase, instead of doing 35% damage to now do 40%, but also the basic attack damage got increased for him. So we've seen a lot of Greymane on this map in particular and some others previously, but now that the patch has buffed the hero even more, that's obviously kind of fantastic, especially for a player like Tai, who played the hero in the first place. Honestly, this is pretty much Tai's patch. His auto-attack build on Zeratul got pretty much buffed, so to say, and he was one of the few players that played that before. Vala, a hero that he also played, got buffed. And we have seen a Greymane buff now as well. This is honestly a patch where you just ask yourself, alright Tai, let's tell us who your contact at Blizzard is and how much you're paying for these changes. And well, they're getting the first kill. Or actually the first death here, because Lauba falls. So the first kill goes to Wind and Rain at this point. And yeah, they nearly got the kill or the counter against Garrosh, but it didn't quite work out that way. Was able to walk through the wall and disappear here for the time being. Now with that, we also have Jaina, obviously going to work on the ice block that she's going to need for later on in the game, but we'll see how that works out for them. I mean, at this point, still the top lane, that's where Genji has made his slight rotations. They're always going to try and make that play against Fury and try and gank up on him. If they can make that happen, that would be pretty fantastic for them. And at the bottom of the map, the camp is taken. I mean, this is really the play or the interplay that you always have with those little moves. You are rotating a hero up to the top that allows you to potentially, first of all, pressure the solo laner of the other team, maybe even get a kill. But you can then also make a decision if you want to go into the camp to steal that away. But they actually decided against it. The problem for them was that Granit Gaming identified that obviously very quickly and then used the opportunity to take the camp at the bottom of the map and can now make the rotation topside. And with that added wave player through Greymane and Jaina, they can easily take this without any problem whatsoever. Alright, so at this point, let's see. Also, by the way, I talked a couple of the heroes that were changed at type players. Ophir obviously received a couple of changes as well. A little bit here, a little bit there, but especially the extra bonus damage that you have from your own point and stuff is working quite well for her, and Tai is just playing all of this. So, with this said, we're now having also different build. The Might of Sagaras played from Lauba here at this point. So getting the additional armor to deal especially with burst. Arcane Intellect now on the side of Jaina. Level 4 talent are ready for both of the players. In this case, no dominance. Skok is straight going in for the charged blast here. And they're trying to get the kill against Misha again. So the entire time just farming the bear here. Bear skins for everybody. Indomitable obviously on level 4 now also for Garrosh. Kinda necessary for him. It's pretty much a must-have talent, to be honest with you. I can't even remember the last time that I've seen. Well, every now and then you see a Garrosh that doesn't go for it, but it's really the kind of the build that you have to play on that level. So So now Mal'Ganis is also attacked and taken down. So that's now 2 kills against 0 for Wind and Rain. And honestly, they are really surprising here. Again, at no point was Wind and Rain a bad team, but if you would have asked anybody, who do you think has the better chances in this particular match, 80-90% would have said without blinking it's Granit Gaming. Considering the season that Granit Gaming had, they just played fantastic, and right now Wind and Rain is really bringing the fight. Not only in the first game, but also here in game number 3, they have the lead with 2 kills against 0. They win the first Immortal. They're doing extremely well here. So yeah, I'm actually really liking the setup that they have, and they can get those reset kills. If they can get the first kill, it should snowball quite heavily. Then again, you have, especially with Greymane later on in the Cursed Bullet, if he goes for it, a lot of quick burst potential with the help of Tyrande, the Hunter's Mark, Jaina behind it too. So there's definitely a chance for Granit Gaming to get quick kills later on and then capitalize on those. Level 7 talents are in play for both of them at the same time, which gives us again the Calamity to increase the additional damage that Li Ming can push out, and also playing into the hands of potential hero Whack-A-Mole if she can just jump through everybody. Mal'Ganis with the black claws at this point. Alright, they're starting to jump in. They're trying to get the kill against the support, and Gul'Gulnar actually survives. Wow! Is able to get out. Svamgrota was trying to get the Cone of Cold connected, but was just out of range to secure the kill for them. And that Immortal didn't do a lot. That Immortal didn't really do a whole lot. Now maybe another kill against Lauber on the other hand. Can they get that? It doesn't look like it, but they definitely brought quite a bit of damage here and got everybody low. And, well, let's keep in mind that Chen is still at the bottom of the map. So up here to the top, Marcus zips out just before the Tyrande stun connects. And they actually get a great throw in against Lauber, and he falls. 5 versus 4, and they lose Misha, plus also Mal'Ganis. Chen is sitting at the bottom of the map, goes now for the camp apparently. But Rexa is there in time to soak the experience. But it's a great position for them. I mean, seriously, 4 kills against 0. You have a slight lead on Lele. The Panda can't go for the camp because Rexa is already there, but that's the start that you're hoping for. This is really the start that you are hoping for in that setup. So let's see. Down at the bottom of the map again, Marker helping out, making sure that Chen can actually go for the Khazra camp. Nisha is going to scout that out, but, well, very little that you can do about it. You can try and linger around a little bit longer, but there's the camp taken. And the Immortals are spawning. Alright, 26 seconds until we have the next objective on the map. And obviously the biggest problem for Granit Gaming is now the experience lead that we're seeing for Wind and Rain. It's not huge, but it's pretty much more than half level, so you're gonna get level 10 with this. And unless you get a kill right now, that will lead to a heroic ability and a free halftime show for Wind and Rain. Maybe even more than that. I mean, honestly, they could get more. They could get the entire objective if they really hurry. And they're already sitting in the middle just to make sure that they're starting the attack super early. And that's exactly what they're doing here. They don't have the level 10 just yet, but they're going to hit it any second. There it is. And with that, we now also have the Twilight Dream. Triple Panda. He adjusted the ult. No barrel this time. They're trying to force a fight here. But Lauber can easily move out. Nightcore also helping him out here, obviously. Yep, and the halftime show is taken. And they will even get a little bit more than that. It's a shitty position for Granit Gaming to be in. It's honestly a really shitty position because you just can't fight yet. Yes, that might only be a 10-second gap, but you can't do anything about it. And now they're just burning that down again. Rexa isn't even there. Obviously, Greymane is just murdering it quickly with Tyrande and the rest of them. But it's still another Immortal, won by Wind and Rain, just as level 10s are now at least ready for the defense. But it's a horrible spot. There comes the previously improved Cursed Bullet that we've seen in the last patch, being adjusted a little bit. Carrion Swarm again, Water Elemental. Now just the question, how aggressive are those Pandas? Look at this. He's actually starting to come in and sneak in from the side. Walking past Lauber though, so Mal'Ganis knows exactly what's up at this point. He's trying to come in from behind. Max Payne still. It's a pan on the mission, boys. Berkun on the other hand. He's a bit low. There's the attack again. They try to go for Skork. And that's the kill, Li Ming. She dies too. But still gets the kill against Jaina. And again, the frost damage and the water elemental able to take down the mage on the other side. We're also seeing Misha already eliminated, so that's a problem. and the wall has fallen. Can they jump in a little bit deeper? There's a couple of ults still available, Twilight Dream just being one of them. And in addition to that, the X-Strike. They're trying to go for the play. There's the throw and there's the kill. Nicely done, and that's Morganis eliminated. And we are going to have a fort destroyed in this setup too. Great spawn again by Wind and Rain to make a play, and they use this nicely. The double reset composition is honestly just a pest to deal with, and Marke is fantastic on Genji, and Skok the entire time with Li Ming is also working the damage in, and they're just bringing the pain. It's 6 kills against 1. 6 kills against 1 at this point, and they have the fort destroyed, they have the lead now. Li Ming is already sitting topside. It's a great third game now for Wind and Rain. And honestly, I believe if you are on Granit Gaming's side, this is going to just start screwing with your head a little bit. Because, again, this game isn't over. By no means is it over. And, as I said before, Wind and Rain is a good team, but let's just recap for a second how that season went for Granit Gaming. They're losing Rexa here too. Granit Gaming was just the top dog in Europe for the longest time. They had a couple of matches that were super close. They had oftentimes to fight, let's say, against the Russians, against Washed Up, against Nothing Left. They're definitely contested. They were challenged a lot. But they still were the team to beat in most of the tournaments and leagues that they played in. And Wind and Rain was a team that was more so in the middle. Wind and Rain had a lot of off days, had a couple of on days. They definitely have the potential, they always had, but they were always one of the teams that were more so situated in the middle and didn't really have that same threat level that Granit Gaming had. And I feel if you go into that first series of the playoffs, Granit Gaming must have gone in this with a lot of confidence and, well, maybe a little bit, I don't really think condescending, but with a lot of confidence for sure. But that confidence quickly gets eroded when you are starting to struggle against a team where you probably thought, alright, this should be an easy setup for us, or a fairly easy one at least. But they are heavily struggling in game number 3 right now. As the bullet again, Twilight Dream is also being used here. They're putting the pressure onto Tai, and I think Greymane is going to fall here. Greymane should fall at this point. There's the triple panda coming in, and yep, Greymane is already down, and they're going for more. Again, the jump and the kill. Tyrande is dead, and Wind and Rain is just obliterating that backline. The panda in particular, every single time we have that jump, we have that aggression, we're seeing the squishies in danger. And honestly, if that game continues like this, we might even see 3 wins in a row for Chen. Nerfs incoming. Honestly, if that continues, I believe we're going to see a lot more Chen bans as this is happening. For the other teams, by the way, this is pretty fantastic because everybody obviously experimented a little bit after the patch came out, but you haven't really seen a lot of highly competitive matches where you can judge, okay, how have the power levels changed, what's the new priority now. And for the other teams, it's pretty sweet to see what's going on here because they can adjust a little bit their own drafts and now have more of an idea of what's going to happen here. And I'm pretty sure that at least Chen is going to have a completely different standing throughout the entire playoffs than he did before and than many teams probably thought. Quest completed for Garrosh. They're still starting to try and make the play here. It's even talents right now. That Immortal is nearly dead on the other hand, so that's a problem. Chen has 20 seconds until there's the triple pandas back, and that's also an issue. That's a big problem, to say the least. Hunter-Gatherer was of course completed earlier, so that extra armor for Misha is currently coming in quite handy. But yeah, it's 9 kills against 1. And they're looking for that fight again. Here we go, and the panda is dead 2 seconds before he had his ult back up. A fantastic collapse, and this is exactly the kind of kills that Granit Gaming has to get. I talked about this a bit earlier, but with the potential that they have here, they kind of need those snappy kills, and they're getting it right now. So, nicely done. 35,000 damage for Li Ming, 28,000 for Tai, 20,000 for Jaina, and they're trying to get more kills here. Yep, in comes Raxa with a slow, and boom! Li Ming gets wrecked. Can't count out Granit Gaming. They are pretty powerful there. Now Chen moved into the middle, Genji moved into the middle, and got the Immortal, and that's 100% Immortal shields now. So there will be a lot of pressure. There will be level 16 as well, but there's not going to be a Li Ming. So that kill was highly important, and they're actually trying to see if they can maybe get another kill too. So they should be able to defend against the Immortal here. That shouldn't really be a big problem for them. We're already having a bit of an approach here through the side, so they're thinking about going for a fight. It's a 4 versus 5 though, but they have level 16, so there's definitely a threat for Granit Gaming. But Li Ming can't capitalize on any kills with resets, and they're burning through the shield pretty quickly. So there's a little bit of a tightrope play that they have to make here. They have to defend against the heroes and against the Immortal at the same time. Great Twilight Dream. Galnegulnar survives with a sliver of health, and Jaina and Tyrande both fall. Tai wants the kill, but Rek'Sai is now dead too. Li Ming is back to business. They nearly got the kill against Malfurion, but instead they lose 3 heroes. They don't get the kill, and now a 5-man is pushing through the bot lane. That backfired quickly in this last one. And the Immortal is obviously still burning through their keep, and Lauber, Carrion Swarm activated, but can he actually survive through this? Chances are that he's going to fall here. They're trying to buy a little bit of time, and he's already going straight for the little sleep session here. That guy is putting heroes to sleep faster than Deckard Cain, but the core is now getting attacked, and they have a 5-man. Greymane soon going to be back. Jaina, of course, too. Greymane is right there. Jaina is coming in. Henning is in the play as well, but 30%. This is going to be it. This is game as Wind and Rain once again takes the lead in the best of 5 series here in the Division S playoffs. Okay everyone, game number 4. The Panda has a 100% win rate after the recent patch, and Wind and Rain have the lead in this series. Granit Gaming has to win 2 in a row now. If they lose one more map, then they find themselves in the lower bracket. Wind and Rain, very successful start for them here. They are done with that shit. Panda gets banned out immediately. It was like, yeah, no thank you, but we don't want any of that. So Zeratul then again banned out, so they're targeting Tai again. I wouldn't be shocked to see Vala banned out once more. Granted, on Cursed Hollow you could definitely deviate away from it a little bit, but so far they had a lot of success starting to ban against Tai in particular. That worked out quite nicely for them, so why change that? There's not really a reason for that happening. Tyrael gets also banned out. As we said before, Backhold loves to play the hero, and on this map with the Sanctification on the boss fights you can do a whole lot. But there's a bit more hesitation, as you can tell right now, so it's not that insta-Vala ban that we've seen previously. They still decide in favor of her, but there was definitely a bit of a, should we ban something else? Is it going to be a Vala ban? What we're going to do here? Because that Slugger is also still available, and yep, there comes that macro game. I talked about this in the break. One opportunity that Granit Gaming has is try and play a bigger map and maybe focus more on a macro aspect of the game and trying to outplay the opponent there a little bit. And that's exactly what they're doing here. So we have Abathar claimed as the first pick from Samgrota. Galnegulnar and Max Payne with the Hakan Tyrande here as their first rotation. So already Owl Scout and Global on the map as well, so that definitely helps as well. But yeah, let's see how exactly Granit is gonna play this. Greymane again got buffed a little bit. Tai likes the hero with a fantastic copy. Jaina is also a really cool copy target for Abathar, so that's already 2 that you could pick here. They go again into Mal'Ganis. They lost 2 games with Mal'Ganis, and they still believe. Actually, I think I'm lying here, aren't I? They lost 1 game with Mal'Ganis, if I'm not wrong. 1, 2? I think it was 1. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, so Mal'Ganis, after the beating in the last game, they're still believing in the power of him as a frontline. So, yeah, for them, that seems to be one of the solutions that they're going for here. And we have Rhaegar. Rhaegar getting picked for the Ancestral. Cassia gets banned out with this now, too. And on the other hand, I mean, they could try and target Backhold even a little bit more now that they already banned out Tyrael, to be honest with you. Then again, you have to also account for Maka at least to an extent and really think about what he is going to be playing here and what you want to ban out instead. There's still a chance that we see even... okay, they go into... yeah, they actually go into the front line. So we have the ban against Garrosh here. Let's see what's happening on the other side. Wind and Rain. I want to see what Maka plays. I would even expect that Johanna could be a pick for Wind and Rain against, since obviously Backhold, as I said before, plays that a lot. ETC, ETC still up, my bad. And there's the Greymane pick. Yeah, we're gonna see a lot more Greymane now that the hero was buffed, even more than before. But that's obviously now an ETC power slide into a Tyrande stun, Cursed Bullet since it was buffed. can be used now with this too. This is also one of the maps where that movement speed increase could have a huge impact, because these quick rotations between the boss camps, for example, they are super powerful, and you really want to try and take your own boss and then rotate and just catch your opponent there, and that could really happen right now with a 10% movement speed increase. That is a lot. Imperius gets played again, and tie on Tracer. I haven't seen that in a while, but I'm actually really eager to see that again. So yep, let's check that out. Pretty awesome. Last pick. What are we gonna get? Tracer with Abathar is such a pain in the ass. And for the opponent, what are we having now with that? Wind and Rain on the last pick at this point. A bit more damage is definitely needed here. And it is going to be a pick into Reyna. Jimmy against Tracer. This is Jimmy, boys. And, well, Cursed Hollow. Is this going to be the last map of the series? Are we going to see a 5-mapper? We're going to find out now. We're heading straight into Cursed Hollow. Game number 4, and it could be the final game in the series. Wind and Rain has been on fire, and Granit Gaming is now down another map. Svamgarata on the left side on Abathar, trying to change it around with a bit of a map crow focus this time. Henning on Rhaegar, Fury on Imperius, we have Lauba on Mal'Ganis, and Ty on Tracer. The cavalry is in the game to turn things around and force game 5. On the right side of the map, Galnagulna on Tyrande, Backhult on ETC, Skok on Greymane, Make on Reyna, and Max Passion on Dehaka Shakalaka. He's gonna try and get that tongue into play of his. We all know that Dehaka is really good with his tongue, just ask his girlfriend. So, for now, Wind and Rain, trying obviously to get those quick kills with the ETC power slide straight into the Tyrande stun. Guitar solo got actually increased on the cooldown, but when we're looking onto his level 1, that's where we've seen a few changes for him, but honestly, prog rock is still the priority talent. I haven't really seen too many guitar heroes taken there just yet, so a lot of the changes I don't really think are going to affect him too much. ETC was already quite strong before. Blizzard was trying to enable players to go for different builds here with him. But ETC just in general obviously syncs very, very well with heroes like Tyrande, and then you won't have the burst damage behind it, which is something that Greymane is going to provide, especially with his level 10 then later on, so that's something that we have to watch out for. Either way, with this now said, we're currently having Greymane also in an opportunity to take camps really quickly, and this is exactly what they're attempting to do here. And if they get early game pressure against the Abathar composition, that's definitely something they could try and capitalize on by taking down a few structures and taking it from there. So we're definitely going to watch out for the macro plays on the side of Wind and Rain a little bit. But as I said before, as I said in the draft, the 10% movement speed increase that we've seen in the last patch, this is one of the maps where he could have one of the biggest impacts, because what you oftentimes see is that bosses are taken on both sides, but one team is a little bit quicker than the other, and then you can rotate over. And this really shaves a couple of seconds off when you make that rotation. And we've seen very, very close calls in the past where a team nearly arrived in time to contest the boss or the second boss as well. And now with that movement speed change, this can definitely happen here. It was a huge change. It was honestly, as I said before, mind-blowing to me that some people thought it was not really a big deal, not really relevant, and some even claimed they didn't even see or realize that there was a movement speed change until they read it in the patch notes, which honestly just lets me to believe that we have a lot of blind people that are playing Heroes of the Storm, because if you are just looking at it, you pretty quickly realize that something has changed significantly. So yeah, the heroes are racing around the map right now, and on a big map, the rotation between the lanes has definitely significantly changed through that right now. Which obviously impacts a couple of talent choices too, because now when you're looking at a side laner that has the job to soak 2 lanes, you don't have to go into speed talents anymore, as we've seen in the past. Nice fight here, good kill. Yep, Abathar Tracer, as said before, pain in the ass, and there's the proof right here. ETC is down after Reyna got eliminated, and they're working on Dehaka right now. The body blocks are real, and this is going to be another kill. Triple kill, baby. Oh yeah, there we go. Good example is Divine Steed. I would actually, when we talk about movement speed, coming back to the point, when we actually have Divine Steed, I'm really curious to see how often this is going to be picked these days. Obviously, Divine Steed does a little bit more than enable you to rotate quicker between the 2 lanes. It also really helps you to be more or less ungankable. But this is a talent that you could see picked less often, just simply because with the movement speed you have an easier time to rotate between the lanes either way. But as it stands, in this game here at least, we're going to see the impact for sure. Now we're having 3 kills against 1, and so far Granit Gaming has really taken off the gloves. And has pretty much said, alright guys, let's stop screwing around here. We need to start really putting some work in, because Wind and Rain, if we don't win it here now, then they are going to take the big lead and will drop us into the lower bracket. That's really not where you want to stand. So for now, we're having the Holy Fervor taken. We're also seeing now the Mule on level 7. Only hero that still has Mule. And obviously, with Greymane, we have seen already a huge amount of damage here in the middle, but Mule can repair that again. And this is something that I highlighted a bit previously, especially on the earlier maps. If you have a good rotation towards structures, Greymane can take down an entire wall pretty much by himself. If he has assistance too, you know how that goes. Talking about assistance, Max Payne has a painful experience here, but is at least able to burrow the bomb from Tracer, so that helps him, and the Haka is snuggling his way back into the line. Fury getting attacked there too, needs to be a bit careful, also using the Molten Armor there. But we're having Lauba still trying to come in. Well, the little bat attempting to make the play. Can they get the interrupt? Yeah, Ty gets it, but Greymane is there. And Ty has to be really careful. He is walking a thin line in this game. He's going up against Jimmy and against Greymane. That's a lot of auto attack damage against Tracer. And Tracer really doesn't like auto attack damage. So in this case though, she gets away. Ty with a quick reaction, Max Payne goes for the tongue again. Still the 1 versus 1 on the tributes. The fight is happening, but bot lane is under attack from Greymane as he's trying to take a few additional structures down. Yeah, Mal'Ganis dies. That was an important one. But this is pretty much the scenario that I talked about. Yeah, there's a bit of wolf on wolf action happening as Henning is trying to deter them from going for the entire wall, but both of the turrets are now down. You leave Greymane for just a few seconds on that lane and he is going to take it apart. Gulnar keeps the wolf alive in this one. Or the wolf, as Trixler would say. But there's still 3 kills against 2. It's a nice 4th game. It's really like, you can tell that there is now a lot of pressure on both teams. Wind and Rain obviously don't want to fight a 5th game either. And they get that kill against Fury. Nice trap here set up. And then the stun combo comes in, and that is going to be a 2nd tribute for them. And all of this comes just before level 10, which means that there's no copy for Abathur. Lulba goes down. Alright, 4 kills against 3. So after the initial shock, Wind and Rain is sitting there and saying like, alright guys, you got your triple kill, but let's make sure that we're going to take you boys down a notch. So it's 2 tributes against 1. Level 10 is now going to be spawning for both teams, which obviously means that we're having Abathur's copy ready for the next big fight. That's going to be a big one. But yep, there's the cursed bullet. Again, talent got changed. Now we have 40% of the current health and damage instead of the 35 that it was before. Boss is taken on both sides. Scouted out, by the way, by Tyranno's Owl. Rotation is not going to be quick enough for that. Mosh pit over stage dive. And on the other hand, we are having the ultimate evolution picked. One of the most important talents for Abathur. As much as I love Monty the Monstrosity, we need more and more copies here on Abathur. The times that you can simply go for Monty and start to dominate the macro game have long passed. Bosses now on both lanes starting to push through, so they have to actually make sure that they are starting to defend against this. But there's also a tribute to be fought over, and this one would curse them. So Granit Gaming has to be on their toes now. And yep, the Haka, the Global, still sitting at the bot lane. He can help with the defense a little bit. Uh-oh! Yeah, we caught that, my friend. We caught that on camera. Those are the moments when you're hoping that the caster's looking somewhere else. But still has to burrow in there. And is trying to get the interrupt and gets it. Nice. On the other hand, we're seeing Ty attacked by Macke. But, well, oh, Ty goes down. That the Haka was unexpected. But the kill against ETC. Double connect as Fury goes in. They're trying to go for Macke, and Macke is dead too. Abathur with a copy. Imperius down. They go for Skog, and they get the kill against Greymane. Greymane is dead, and what a slaughter again. Holy shit. These are the fights that we are hoping for. Yeah, Max Payne is maximum dead. Up to the top lane, the boss is finally getting stopped by the turrets. At the bottom of the map, the fort has fallen too, so both of them are dying here. Abathur is soaking the middle a little bit, but now we're having 2 tributes against 2 at this point. Nicely done. This is actually a pretty sweet setup here. This is a cool game. And again, the mule factor already in play, making sure that the top lane fort is being held for as long as possible. Yep, down at the bottom they get the experience, but there's a lead. Granit Gaming has the earlier level 13. They won't be able to capitalize on it too much. It's not that the next tribute is going to spawn in that small time frame that they have here. It's at least getting announced, but obviously there's no doubt that both of the teams will have their level 13 talents at the time. Soma Transference and the Heat of Battle. Alright, Molten Core buff for them right now. Definitely a bit more of a Molten Core focus now after the patch changed that for Imperius. It's definitely a slight adjustment for him. And, well, at his point, healing obviously is going to be important for him. The sustain through those stun combos in particular is going to be important for the guys. The cleanse on Rega, highly, highly important. And that Ancestral as well. And this is going to be a curse one way or another. We're going to see a curse coming through with both teams are now on 13, trying to zone this here as much as they can. And they're starting to make the plays. Skok with a channel attempt. Abathur so far without the copy. He's going to get that one in soon though. Helping out Ty for now. Fury getting attacked. Already Lauber with the ult being used. Skok is a bit low. There's the stun, the mosh pit. And the kill against Tracer. Nice. The copy at this point not really active. Lauber again gets the Ancestral. Puts them to sleep. But this is not looking good for the blue team. Nope. Wind and Rain is looking fantastic here. Delivery system attempt by Fury. He can try and lunge away once more, but he gets locked down here. And Imperius gets wrecked. And that's not the only one. We're also seeing Mal'Ganis being attacked now too. Might fall, especially since there's the flank coming and the curse is hitting hard. And he cannot hide any longer. Mal'Ganis down, 9 kills against 4. The curse has hit. We're still seeing the last remainers of the camp that was taken in the middle, trying to stop the onslaught in the mid lane. In the meantime, Abathur has taken the bottom of the map and is also trying to make sure that that fort survives a bit longer. The problem is that Wind and Rain doesn't give a shit about the forts. They're going straight for the keep. They're immediately moving into the mid lane and saying, okay, boys, this is ours. And it looks like they're trying to rotate straight towards the top now as well, taking another one. They're going for the double keep play right here. And that's a disaster for Granit Gaming. They have Mal'Ganis back to business, but they need to take that fight right now. And I'm not quite sure if they can. I mean, just look how that keep is getting melted down. Wind and Rain, they want the 3-1 victory. They want to drop Granit Gaming into the lower bracket. And it looks more and more likely that's going to happen. But Ty is trying to get the kills. And together with Abathur, he's able to get the Tyrande kill. They need much more than that, though. The fort in the middle is also falling to the minions. The one in the bot lane is also going to get dropped. There's 4 structures that got taken down in that curse against Granit Gaming. They are absolutely on the ropes now. They still have the same experience as their opponent, but let's not kid ourselves. With 2 keeps eliminated and all the forts destroyed, Granit Gaming is definitely on the ground right now, trying desperately to get up again, as the ref is already looking for a countdown. So right now, this is not looking pretty for the blue team. They still have chances, but they need to win team fights, and they need to win them soon. They have level 16, that gives us the envenomed spikes here even, so we have the slow instead of the speed bubble. And right now, it's honestly just time for Tracer to try and make a couple of plays here. They need someone to step up and get the kills in. And they are already going for a bit of a Hail Mary up to the top. They know they have to take a fight at some point, and the bosses are both up, and they cannot afford to lose a boss at this point. They can't afford to lose the top boss. The top boss would end the game with the rest of the team, so they're going for the kill. Already the Essence being dropped here. In comes the Ancestral. Lauber at this point is still alive, and they're trying to go straight in for the play and potentially a kill. They dropped the Banshee at least, so that's something, but they need a lot more than that. They need kills. They need a team fight victory, and then momentum from maybe getting a tribute, maybe getting that curse, maybe a boss for them as well. But things are really looking dicey right now. Greymane at this point has the Executioner. There's the Paint 'em Red, and obviously we're having in addition to that the Elongated Tongue as well right now. And the tribute this time is spawning at the bot lane. Abathur could soak it. Abathur could move in. Dehaka obviously has the global as well, so if Abathur goes in a little bit too deep, then Abathur can just simply tunnel down and try and kill him. But at this point, it's all about the action. It's all about the fights. There's the sleep setup already. They're trying to go for Fury. Bullet didn't do enough here, and they're trying to go in again. They have Tribute is spawning just a little bit. Oh, the mosh pit against 3! The mosh pit against 3 heroes. Backhold with the big boy plays. Lauber trying to save the day for the team. The copy on Abathar is through as well, trying to stop the onslaught. Tai is moving back. Obviously, that tribute doesn't really mean anything for Wind and Rain at this point. It's their first one, but the boss, that's a different story, and that's exactly where Wind and Rain is headed right now. The mosh pit turning it completely. He catches 3 heroes, there's no interrupt left, and that was absolutely fantastic from Bergholt here. The mosh pit that might have just won them the game. Down at the bottom of the map, yep, they're trying to get at least the curse, and they get the curse. They get the curse. That's at least something. The question is, what is that curse going to do? Probably very little. Because Dehaka is already on the defense right now. And, well, they might lose. I don't even think they're going to lose the keep. Well, Dehaka actually moves around, so they might lose the keep after all. The question is, can you save the game? And if the keep is... I mean, if the curse is only getting used to save the core and take that boss down, I mean, what else are you going to get? They're moving down to the bottom of the map. They're taking... Yeah, Abathar scouts it out. But they're taking the boss now. They're trying to take the boss. And guys, again, 10% movement speed increase. There it is. That's it in play. They're rotating in. 10% movement speed. Is that going to be enough? They might have to take the fight. Core, you can mule it. They're trying to go for the battle. Boss is about to be taken. They're trying to move in. Boss is grabbed. Can they get the kills? That's the question. They're trying to go for Bergholt. This time he doesn't have the mosh pit. Core already attacked on both sides right now. Bergholt is low, but he gets away. Max Payne, on the other hand, he might not be so lucky. They're going for him. They're taking him down. Jimmy in trouble. The core is losing hit points, but Abathar can heal it up again. They're trying to make the play for Maka right now, and they're going straight for him. Tyrande down. We have Reyna down. Guys, this could actually be game. They can try and go for the core. They have to go for the core. They have no other choice. 4 are down. They're actually turning this. They are turning the shit around. What the fuck's happening here? They win the game. There's only ETC. He has the mosh pit. Well, what the hell is he gonna do? 5-man mosh them? They have taken the fight. They lost the boss in the bot lane, but they took 4 heroes down. The 3-man mosh again. Bergholt, you are a boss, but there's no damage. There's no damage. And now the core is falling, and we have Granit Gaming forcing game number 5 in this series. GG and well played. Towers of Doom, everybody. Game number 5. Just quickly adjusting our overlay. I was a little bit stunned after the turnaround in the last game and kind of forgot to adjust the score, but now we have it perfectly on the scoreboard as well. Granit Gaming pulled it off. They actually did it. They lost 2 keeps, they lost all their forts, and then they win the one fight that really matters. They have the opportunity to kill 4 heroes. They do that, move through the bot lane, and just drop the core. Unbelievable. And also it was one of those instances where at least the 10% movement speed had a bit of an impact. They weren't able to steal the boss away or defend the boss, but they were able to arrive in time to capitalize a little bit on that boss fight, jump in and take the opponent's team down. So a really good example of that. Now Zeratul and Vala get banned out again. Towers of Doom is the map. Chen already eliminated. Granit Gaming at this point is just done with the Panda. They're just absolutely done. Abathar gets also banned out, this time though by Granit Gaming. They don't want to get a taste of their own medicine here. And here's the Tyrande pick. Galnagulna picks it for himself, strong with Tyrande, and also picking it away from Henning. Obviously, the interrupt through the owl on any kind of altered channel is already super annoying, but Granit Gaming plays really well around this Tyrande aggression that you oftentimes see there with quick kills. It all comes down to the wire. It all comes down to the 5th map, and we're only in the first best of 5 of the day. There is a lot more to follow. And here we go. Fury on ETC. This is something that Granit Gaming does a lot. This is now one of those moments where you could either see Fury on ETC or Lauber on ETC. And it is something that has been played in HTC back in the days as well. Because ETC can now be played either as the main tank or the offlaner that goes into stage dive and has a global deck. So you're very flexible if you have 2 good ETC players of how you are playing it from there on out. Liming for Macke, Bergholt with Garrosh on the other side. We have also Swampgrotta now with Hanzo. But as the bans keep coming in, let's see how much of an adjustment we are going to see there. So, yeah. Leo gets banned out. Okay, for the rotation there. Could definitely see Rel, by the way, popping up at some point again. We've talked a little bit about the adjustment to the Hand of Freedom on level 4 here for her. But yeah, let's focus a little bit on the Bander first of all. I mean, there was a bit more of a rigor focus actually for Granit Gaming, as they were eager to go for the camps, but now on this map we could also see back the rotation into Malfurion. And there's Sophia getting banned. Tai gets a couple of his heroes banned out. There's still Greymane around though, so that's definitely something that you have to respect there too. So they wanted to adjust address the mages a little bit more. But you could still go into a Greymane setup for Tai. There's also Tracer. I mean, again, Tracer is still around here, so that's another potential problem. You have Garrosh for a taunt if he gets that through. You have the Hunter's Mark on Tyrannus. There's a few small tools there. But still. Alright, Jaina, and we have Ana instead. Okay, so the Nano Boost is in action again, and you have ETC together with this. There's a lot of stun setups already. Hanzo Arrow, ETC Power Slide, potentially Mosh Pit, Ana Sleep. Jaina can really start wrecking people by dropping also a quick Ring of Frost there. It's a dangerous setup. There's a lot of quick kill potential for them now, once again. I mean, they love to play that style. Wind and Rain. Yeah, there's the Haka, so probably Fury gonna be on ETC. And there's the Greymane pick. Since Granit Gaming hasn't taken the hero, Wind and Rain says, alright, we'll take the honors there. But now that we have the Haka, it's likely that Lauba is gonna go into a main tank and doesn't play ETC, and Fury will rock the off lane and then go into stage dive so that he can mirror the movements a little bit. That's exactly what we're having now. Also no Mal'Ganis this time, and now we see Lauba with Johanna. Ladies and gentlemen, what else can I say? It's map number 5, you all know what that means. Let's go straight into the final map of this series, the Division S playoffs in Europe. Our first round here, we're on Towers of Doom. Prepare yourself for Game 5, the final map. Swamp Grotta for Granit Gaming on Hanzo, Henning on Ana, Lauba on Johanna. We have Fury on ETC. And Tai on Jaina. Wind and Rain on the other hand, with Galnagulnar on Tyrande, Backhold on Garrosh, we have Max Payne on Dehaka, Maka on Liming, and Skok on Greymane. It's a really dangerous assassin composition that they have here right now. So definitely can be a huge problem if those guys get the damage through. If you lock any target down with Tyrande and apply a Hunter's Mark, and Maka has a free shot for a combo, and then Greymane jumps in too, you can kiss that hero goodbye. There's absolutely no chance of actually saving that. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Very interesting, because so far the coordination of Wind and Rain has been really on point. I mean, they've done extremely well. Yes, in the last map they lost in the end, but it was one fight that went south for them. Outside of that, they played it really, really well. And we're actually having the enhanced agility. Alright, I can't wait to see this one. 10% movement speed increase, and Dehaka is going for the race car build. So he is just going to zip around. Probably has to like get a talent where he can like break down a little bit and just like slow down, because honestly, if you have that much movement speed and you have that much momentum in any situation, he's gonna get just being carried around by the momentum out of a corner and just crash into walls, and that is pretty hurtful. We have a couple of heroes that can crash you in the wall, and we all know what happens there. You get stunned out, you take a lot of damage. So yeah, just look at what Diablo does with opponents when he gets that play, or Oriel as well, so definitely something to watch out for. So yeah, movement speed for him. Also, first rotation there against Fury. Marke. Yeah, he really slides around. Attempt to go for a hit, but doesn't connect anything. They wanted to go for the camp in the first place though. But now we have a 4 versus 3 at the bottom. It doesn't matter though. Both of the teams are able to take their camp in time. So that definitely helps them there. Up towards the top. Fury all alone as the opponent's team takes the pumpkins. This is the final one again, and obviously you need to be really careful right now. Lauba is trying to use his added wave clear to make sure that that camp never sees the structures and can never do anything there. But if they can escort their own pumpkins in, they would at least start to break through the wall here. That would be important. Lauba also zoning out Backhold at this point, so that works out quite nicely for them. And yep, there we go. They should be able to connect those. That's the throw that we've all been waiting for. Yep. In comes Johanna, and Lauba is able to walk away regardless. Heading with a little bit more pew-pew. There's another sleep dart too. They're trying to go for Jaina right now. Maka wants to kill together with Skok, and they might even get it, but Maki himself is all of a sudden in trouble. Yeah, Lauba. Oh no! will save for so long, but now Anna herself has to try and rush away here, but Henning might be in a bit more trouble than he asked for. Barely dodges out on the stun. And guys, that's 10% movement speed right there. In the old patch, that stun would have connected and Anna would have died right there. And thanks to the 10% movement speed, she just made it out of the stun range. That was a close one. Yeah, that definitely, that could have backfired harder than it did. 1 kill against 0. Lauba has been taken down once now. We have the level 4 talents in. The charge blast is right there, down to the bottom of the map. We're now having the first channel, but obviously it's a triple altar now, so it's an exchange at the top left, top right. But 2 of the altars are now channeled through by Wind and Rain, and that takes 8 points off the core of Granit Gaming. So nicely done there. With this, we're already having the quick attack straight up in the middle. Level 4 talents give us, amongst other things, now their biotic enhancements. A full grenade build here from Anna thus far. We're starting to make the aggression happen here. Dehaka, we're going to keep an eye on him, especially with the level 1 talent. I want to see that full race car potential for him. So that's going to be pretty sweet. Yeah, and hold your ground on level 1 also for Jojo. So we're going to see that. The experience, I mean, again, it's a little bit of a slower start than what we've seen in previous games. Both the teams are pretty cautious. We have the early level 7, but obviously it comes down to the next objective or the next 2 objectives when people are starting to take slight leads and the level 10 abilities will come in. Dehaka at this point with 2 stacks already, so there's a slight movement speed increase, but later on we're going to keep our eyes a little bit more locked onto that and how much of an impact that has for him with the global movement speed changes that Blizzard introduced with the last patch, which is the patch that we're playing here, obviously. ETC dying at the top lane as the Li Ming rotation has helped to get the kill here, kicking the ragdoll around a little bit and getting access to the next pumpkin camp. And talking pumpkins, I mean, Granit Gaming might have lost 2 heroes, but they're winning definitely on the objective part. Galnagolna, oh my god, are they actually going to save everybody here? Nah, Garrosh goes down, and Greymane, oh, the slow, gets sucked in again, and that's a kill. Nicely done. Was a good save on Tyrande though, so at least that helped them. But losing 2 now and losing so many structures, that's a bit more of a problem. And at this point, yeah, there's obviously attacks against the fountain at the bottom of the map. They also start pressuring the bell tower itself, and that obviously hurts. But talking about bell tower pressure, that bell tower at the top lane is, how should I say that, pretty much getting wrecked. Yeah, there's 4 shots fired. The channel just comes through before that gets claimed, but now there is definitely a structural advantage for Wind and Rain. So far, Granit Gaming has just done way better at taking structures down a notch, but that was the first bell tower to fall, and ETC has to deal with it now. Good connects from Hanzo, actually really nice connects. Some Grota moving pretty quickly here too. Starting to move out of the way of that orb as it comes in again, and once more trying to see if they can maybe get an opening here somewhere and get a quick kill. But that experience lead that we now have for Wind and Rain, that gives us level 10. That is going to be a significant advantage. The question is only, can they capitalize on it somehow? Force a fight, get a kill, try and set something up along those lines, fight for an objective, anything, push through a lane. That's what they're going to try and do here. Most of the camps have already been taken on the map, so there's very little that they can do there to steal away. They have now that taunt on Garrosh with a Warlord's challenge right there. But level 10 is going to come into action any second now for the blue team too. And actually no Cursed Bullet. Again, Cursed Bullet got buffed. Lauba is running it down mid. I mean, quite literally. Really far out here, doesn't have a lot of vision or any information about where the opponent is, and then gets easily caught there and taken down just before the altars are activating again. Now, luckily for him, the death timers are still pretty low, so he's got to be back to business. But yeah, definitely a bit of a weird one there. So go for the throw that's been taken by Greymane, so not going into the newly buffed Cursed Bullet. Again, the damage got increased slightly. Instead, still believing in his chances to go for the throat of Jaina, Anna or Hanzo. Channels on the altars should come into action any second now. But we're also having the stage dive in play. So yeah, Lauba is obviously back to business right now. Pumpkins are getting claimed again. First channel is through. That's 5 shots fired. Keep in mind there is still a structural advantage through bell towers for Wind and Rain. Blessed Shield, slide, and no damage. Nobody there for the damage. They can't get the kill. Yep, and that Hanzo arrow didn't hit anything. Instead, Lauber gets hit with a guitar straight to the face. ETC is trying to jump around, gets taunted right away, and that's the second kill. Granit Gaming is falling a little bit apart here. Tai is now also getting dropped. Greymane nearly fell, but that's another 5 shots fired. They're going to be down to 22 points on the core. That's a 10-point difference right now. And guys, it's not going to stop there. It is not going to stop there. They are going to try and take another bell tower pretty quickly now. Skog had to go back. That's the saving grace right now for Granit Gaming. If Greymane had full HP or something and wouldn't have had to go back, they could have taken that bell tower already. They should still be able to get him, but just look at that damage output. Obviously, attempt to blind them right now, but Greymane is going through this like, well, hot butter through cheese. So, with that said, 6 kills against 2, 13 against 11. And Wind and Rain, they nearly won map 4, but now they are looking at a pretty similar lead in this one. Max Payne at least gets annihilated. So that's maybe the first step to come back into this. The mid lane gets attacked too. They're trying to break through the wall here. It's a strange one. It's really a strange one. But Wind and Rain also, I would assume, remembers what happened on the last map. And Towers of Doom is a map where if at any point you gain momentum in the late game, you can oftentimes carry that to a victory. So, yeah. They have to check that out if they can make a play there. They first of all need level 13 as the attempt to at least reclaim the bottom bell tower now as well. That's still a 5 versus 3 situation on bell tower control here. So, well, then we're also having now the Illusionist and the Running Wild. And things are there. Yep, there's our bottom altar now. And this is, again, problematic because bottom lane control is one of the most important things on this map. And if you have the bottom bell tower, it also means that it's really difficult for you to move into the bottom altar and try and get access through it. If you really want to do that, you have to do what they are doing right now. Wrap around from the top, and if you then start losing the fight, you have no option to get back. But that was a really good setup against Liming. Holy shit! That was the insta... Oh my fucking god, they are dropping them! Triple kill out of hell right away, and Greymane is on the run, and they're gonna get him too. They're gonna get the quad kill at this point, and they're gonna get the reclaim on the bell tower and then the channel at the bot lane. They could even go for this one as well. They could go for both bell towers. Holy hell, what a wraparound. That is insane. That was an insane fight. The insta drop against Liming. She had no chance whatsoever. Everything hit her, stun after stun, and that was the perfect angle. They expected them to come in from the left, not from the right, so everybody was vulnerable. Now it's 5 against 3. Bell towers have completely swapped, and Wind and Rain has to struggle here a little bit. Granit Gaming just has taken the lead. Granit Gaming has taken the lead right now, and not only in kills, but in experience, in structures on the map, and damn son. Fury might fall at the top. He's currently waiting for his cooldowns to come back to have a chance, and he actually escapes. But damn, that kill just wrecked Wind and Rain. Seriously, they had so much momentum there. And yep, they wrapped around the right and then just went straight in and took them down. Honestly, Liming was dead so quickly, I think at that point, didn't even know what was happening. Great ice block. Oh my god, Tai. Beautiful. Dodges everything with it and tries to turn it around now against Backhull too. Skog as well. Nice damage. Not enough, but at least a little bit. They also used the Hanzo arrow on the other hand. Swamp Grotta really trying to set this up, but it didn't quite work out. Top lane is still under pressure. Maka wants to at least equalize the position in bell towers again, even though they can't get the bottom of the map. So they're focusing on the top instead. But damn son. Bot lane now, Tai and Henning sitting tight. Trying to defend this as much as they can. Alright. Level 16 talents with a mirror ball now. Execution also for Greymane. That's obviously dangerous. Fanaticism has now been taken. Active reload. And we have the aggressive shredding for ETC. Cooldown reduction for him. And it's a triple altar phase. Triple altar phase with a 5 versus 3 situation in bell towers. You grab 2, you put them down to 17 points. If they grab 2, then they are ahead in bell tower points. That's really what they have to do right now. So at this point, once again, Lauber, the target. Water Elemental is already out. ETC is at the top lane, trying to take the top right, by the way. He's trying to take the top right. Not top left, not the safe position. He's going for the more aggressive one. And they drop Liming again. Holy shit. They drop it with a perfect blessed shield. A perfect blessed shield in the follow-up. Guys, they're gonna get all 3. They're gonna get all 3. It's gonna be 15 points off the core of Wind and Rain. What the hell? The shots are fired quite literally. They go down to 17, they go down to 12, and there's the race car. Nice cleanse there with the Celestial Attunement, but damn, Wind and Rain was massively ahead. They should have won this series already on Cursed Hollow. And Granit Gaming somehow pulled a turnaround off and forced them into game number 5, and now all of a sudden it looks like we might see the victory for Granit Gaming after all. Granit Gaming, they fell behind after the first map, they fell behind after the third, and now they are in a situation where they might still win it all. ETC with a stage dive, they go for the fight, they're trying to go for it here. Again, Jaina with the damage, Tai with a kill, Greymane down, they go for Backhook, he's isolated, gets the taunt through, Li Ming doesn't hit the combo, Market just doesn't connect the damage here, bot lane pushes through, but there's the kill, Li Ming with the Jaina annihilation, still trying to capitalize on the resets, but we already have Garrosh eliminated. They're trying to save Gul'dan, they barely do, but Marke is still on the wrong side here. The nice kill, oh my god, Max Payne. Max Passion with a drag, they try to go for Marke at least, can they get the kill? They cannot. 9 points on the core, by the way, as the Pumpkins have moved through to. What a game. What a series. The first one to kick off the playoffs in Europe for Division S. And now we have Fury sitting tightly in the middle here. There's obviously 2 altars activating at the top. You channel both, you win the game. You channel 1 and you drop your opponent down to 4. Ooh, alright. This is... everybody's up on the map again except for Garrosh and Anna, and they're gonna be there soon. Max Payne is sitting there. Marke wants the top bell tower. He might even be able to get it, to be honest, but it's gonna be a close call. Fury is looking to see if he can get a power slide through that anybody can follow up on. Nope, Swamgrota, they're trying to zone. Marke on the side, and the kill against Tyrande. What a perfect blessed shield again. Lauber had a couple of little moments in this series for sure, but the last 3 blessed shields that he threw out led to insta-kills every single time. Perfect coordination here. Tai dodges the tongue. They're trying to make the play for Backhold. Greymane already had to back since he was incredibly low. And there's 4 points on the core right now. 4 points on the core. And they could go for boss if they get the kills. And they have the double. And they immediately started attacking it. Boss is getting attacked. Wind and Rain. They know it obviously. But what can they do about it? Fury is sitting there. The boss is down to 50% HP. Fury trying to delay. Trying to delay for a little bit longer. The taunt is in already. They kill him. And this is game. This is it. This is it. The shots are fired. And Granit Gaming, they drop Greymane and they take the series. A 3-2 victory for Granit Gaming at the Division S playoffs in Europe. What a best of 5.